My name is Harper, and at 31 years old, I thought I knew what family meant. I was wrong. Growing up in Wichita, Kansas, yeah, I said Wichita in my notes, but it's Wichita, the heartland city where everyone knows everyone's business. I'd always been the responsible one. The one who skipped parties to study, who landed a solid job right out of college, and who bootstrapped a tech startup from my tiny apartment. My app? It helps small businesses manage their inventories and orders. Nothing flashy, but it was mine. Blood, sweat, and endless cups of cheap coffee went into it. And that joint account? It was supposed to be sacred. A pool of money for the family home's mortgage. The place where my parents, Thomas and Ruth, had raised me and my sister, Holly. I contributed the most, funneling in thousands from my startup's early profits. Because that's what family does, right? Supports each other. But let's rewind to 3 months before that fateful text. Things started feeling off. I'd noticed the account balance dipping lower than it should, like a slow leak in a tire you can't quite pinpoint. My dad, Thomas, a retired salesman with a booming voice and a habit of dominating every conversation, kept calling, his tone edged with that familiar sharpness. Michelle, the house payments are tight this month. We need another couple grand. I'd wire it over, my fingers hesitating on the keyboard, but trust overriding doubt. After all, he was my dad. The man who'd taught me to ride a bike, even if he always praised Holly's grace more than my determination. One evening, after a grueling day pitching to investors, my palms sweaty, heart racing as I demoed my app, I sat down to reconcile the books. That's when I spotted it. A $5,000 charge to a travel agency. My breath caught, a cold prickle racing down my spine. The mortgage wasn't due for weeks, digging deeper, like peeling back layers of an onion that stings your eyes. I found hotel bookings in Miami, first-class flights, even a luxury car rental, all linked to my mom's credit card. Ruth, with her perfectly coiffed hair and that condescending smile she reserved for when I talked about my little tech hobby, no mention of any trip to me. No invite. Nothing. My stomach twisted into knots as I traced more charges. I opened my banking app, the screen glowing harshly in my dim apartment, and watched the balance plummet week by week. I started screenshotting everything, every withdrawal, every suspicious transfer. Then, a tip from a cousin. She'd overheard Mom boasting about a big family getaway at a family barbecue I wasn't invited to. My hands shook as I unmuted an old family group chat I'd silenced ages ago to focus on work. There it was, black and white, messages between Mom and Holly, planning the Miami extravaganza. "Don't worry, she won't notice till it's gone," Holly wrote, followed by laughing emojis. The words burned into my retinas, a hot flush of anger rising in my chest. How could they? My sister, 2 years older, always the golden child, with her picture-perfect marriage to Robert, her 2 kids, and her cushy part-time job. She'd gotten the big wedding funded by our parents, the down payment on her house, while I got lectures about pulling my weight. I wasn't going to let this slide. The next day, with the sun filtering through my office blinds, casting long shadows that mirrored my growing resolve, I opened a separate account at a different bank, transferred my startup's profits there, safe from their grasping hands. Then, I called a lawyer I'd met at a networking event, a no-nonsense woman named Elena, with sharp eyes and a reputation for dismantling financial fraud. "Can you protect my assets if my family's misusing our joint account?" I asked, my voice steady despite the pounding in my ears. She didn't blink. "Absolutely. Start documenting everything." Over steaming coffee in my cluttered office, surrounded by whiteboards scribbled with code ideas, I laid it all out. Screenshots, statements, those damning texts. Elena nodded, her pen flying across her notepad. "This is solid. We can file for a freeze if they escalate." For the first time in months, I felt a spark of control ignite in my chest, pushing back the suffocating weight of betrayal. My parents had always favored Holly. Her achievements paraded at every family dinner. while my startup was dismissed as risky. I'd been the workhorse, the ATM they tapped without gratitude. Not anymore. Back in my apartment that night, the hum of the city outside my window, I kept digging. Another transaction, a deposit for a beachfront condo in Miami, cross-referenced with the group chat. Mom gushing, "This will be the trip of a lifetime, just us and your family." No me. No thanks for the money I'd sacrificed vacations and weekends to earn. I printed the logs, my printer whirring like an accomplice. My hands no longer trembling, but purposeful. Every night, I'd back up the evidence to a secure drive. The click of the mouse a small victory. Dad called one afternoon. His voice smug over the line, like he was doing me a favor by asking, "Michelle, we need another $2,000 for the house." I played along. "I'll check my funds." But inside, a fire burned. Elena had drafted a letter demanding transparency. Sent certified mail, no return address. They'd get it and squirm. As I stared at the growing pile of evidence on my desk, the scent of printer ink lingering, I realized this wasn't just about money. It was about respect, their utter lack of it. They saw me as a pushover, a resource to exploit while fawning over Holly. Anger gave way to focus. I was done being their doormat. The morning after, my phone buzzed with Mom's messages. "Michelle, you're too busy with your little app to understand real finances. Leave the account to us." Her words dripped condescension, like acid eroding my composure. I stared at the screen, my coffee cooling untouched. Her smugness a challenge I was primed to meet. No reply. Instead, I logged into the bank site, found the linked credit card they'd used for bookings, and reported it compromised. Cancelled. Cut off. By noon, Dad's furious call. "What did you do? We're stuck at the airport." I could picture him pacing, red-faced, his booming voice echoing. Silence from me. Let the panic marinate. In my Wichita office, surrounded by the soft clack of keyboards from my small team, I dialed Elena. "They're using it for personal trips," I said, forwarding Mom's text. "Move forward?" She was on it, drafting sue papers for misuse. "We'll demand an audit." I forwarded everything, the evidence a digital arsenal. The account was for the home, not their getaway. Elena warned of messiness, but I was beyond caring. They'd crossed me. No retreat. Around 3 p.m., Holly called, her voice a whip crack. "How dare you ruin our trip?" She spat my name like venom. I gripped the phone, knuckles white, but kept even. "You knew they took my money." She scoffed. "It's family funds. We're entitled." No argument from me. I'd already emailed the bank for a freeze. Mrs. Davis, the manager, confirmed by evening. Thomas and Ruth stranded. No flights. Holly's call ended with mutters of my selfishness, but worry laced her tone. Good. They were tasting consequences. I spent the afternoon printing more statements, texts. Elena called. "Strong case, emergency hearing soon." Mom's messages escalated, mocking my work ethic. "You'll never keep up with us." Saved it all. Their arrogance fueled me. By evening, a family friend called about the airport fiasco. Dad's personal card declined from debt. Quiet satisfaction bloomed in my chest. They thought they outsmarted me. Now, their dream unraveled. By noon the next day, Robert, Holly's husband, a slick real estate agent with a perpetual salesman grin, called, barking. "You've gone too far, canceling those cards, ruining our vacation." I leaned back in my chair, laptop open to new contracts, unfazed. His anger was wind. I'd seen Holly's social post. Cocktail on a Miami balcony, living our best life, no thanks to haters. Likes from her echo chamber, but probing comments about funding. A smirk crossed my lips, the truth brewing. Calmly, "Robert, the account was for the house, not your beach party." He sputtered. Holly jumped in shrill. "You're jealous of our happiness." No flinch. "I have proof." Emailed the group chat screenshot. Silence, then Holly's waver. "Not what it looks like." Cornered. By evening, the story spread. Coworker overheard, shared in local chats. Messages flooded. True your parents drained it? Support like armor. A family friend texted about Holly's tacky post. Tide turning, without me lifting a finger publicly. I channeled into work. Mrs. Carter signed for my app, excited. Saves thousands. Another client wanted a meeting. Company thriving amid chaos. Holly posted sunset over ocean. Family sticking together. Comments mixed. One questioning funds. Saved it for evidence. Elena. Strengthens our case. Next morning, neighbor with coffee. People talking. Your parents always bragged about Holly, but this is low. Community whispers grew. Momentum shifted. That evening, at a diner with Wendy, my best friend, neon buzzing, booth vinyl creaking, I spilled Holly's accusations, Robert's rage, whispers, Wendy, eyes fierce, you're stronger, you'll win? Her squeeze a lifeline. Fries pushed my way. Her fire reignited mine. Later, Aunt Patricia called, sharp. Causing trouble for Ruth? Forwarded screenshot. Silence, then soft. I didn't know. Doubt crept in. She was seeing cracks. Startup buzzed next day. Mrs. Carter emailed praise, contract for more locations. Drama boosted business. Local blog framed me as underdog. Revenue spiked 10%. Trained team, energized. Scrolled Holly's media. Beach montage, family first. Comments, sister's money. Saved video. Found old post, shopping with mom, archived. Wendy texted check-in. Grateful for her. She saw through favoritism always. Worked late, organizing evidence. Elena. They're digging graves. Confidence grew. Hearing close. Barista slipped free latte. You've got this. Kindness surprised. Support swelled. Texts, emails, note from coach. More than scapegoat now. Patricia called heavy. Talk to Ruth. No explanation. Hesitation. Leaning my way. Truth breaking through. Monday. Courthouse steps. Air heavy, wood-paneled room. Elena nodded. Parents stiff. Avoiding gaze. Holly glaring. Arms crossed. Deep breath. Ready. Elena first. Misuse of funds. Handed stack. Statements, texts, posts. Judge flipped pages. Pointed to text. Michelle won't notice. Room shrank. Words echoed. Dad. Family account. Our right. Mom nodded. Agreed. Overreacting. Their lawyer fumbled. Elena countered with agreement. Account for home. Judge unimpressed. Holly burst. Tearing us apart. Jealous. Gavel banged. I met glare. You knew. Hush. Slid Holly's video. Judge hardened. Timeline shown. Withdrawals matching bookings. Dad interrupted. Judge cut off. Evidence suggests otherwise. Faces paled. Thrill in me. Certainty. Recess. Ruling. Misuse clear. Assets frozen. Repay $7,000 in 24 hours. Buzz. Holly gasped. Gavel fell. Left with Elena. Strong start. Wait lighter. Community. Court rallied. Fight not over, but ready. Week later, whispers at office. For sale on dad's vintage car. Neighbor photo. Scrambling. Sold mom's necklace. Reputation unraveling. Friends whispered greed. Holly. Robert. Lost deal. No trust. Holly silent on media. Mortgage late. Lifestyle crumbling. Patricia called regretful. Wrong about Ruth. Public apology posted. Comments praised me. Relief. Community noticed. Startup soared. Newspaper feature. Fights betrayal. Build success. Flood of clients. Revenue plus 15%. Trained hires. Office alive. Past parents' house. Faded lawn. Neighbor. No book club. Shift clear. Business owner emailed partnership. Grit impressive. Holly texted. Ruined us. Forwarded to Elena. No response. Focused on company. New contract. Fitness chain. Team celebrated pizza. Patricia visited cookies. Ruth embarrassed. Short talk. Enough. Support. Feature. Success. World expanding. 2 years later, app launch. Convention center buzzing. Investors. Reporters. Team tireless. Software across Kansas. No contact with family. Blocked. Deleted? Necessary? Wichita crowned hero. Revenue tripled. Second office. Stage thanks. Applause drowned past. Parents' shadows moved smaller. Circle gone. Sold assets. Pride eroded. Holly's letter. Begged forgiveness. Shredded. Too late. Wendy partner? Pitched AI. Brainstormed. Future focus. Learned protect mine. Money? Trust? Energy? Gut warned. Betrayal taught stand alone. Chaos to strength. Victory. Thank you for staying. What would you do? Share thoughts and comments. If this resonated, subscribe for more stories of triumph over betrayal. See you next time.